All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everyone this evening? On my end, I don't know why we're having technical difficulties. What's going on, Johnny from Southern California? Trying to discover his niche. How are you today? War Dog Survivor. And yeah, it's very strange what's going on here. I'm trying to figure this thing out. As always, Aquin Lee, Maria Martinez, welcome. Ray Atkins, thank you for being first. Eric, where can I sign up for exclusive YouTube videos and how do I have the Q&A we all access? So that's going to be on our homepage here. If you go here to our homepage right there, you go click there, War Dog Survivor. On our homepage, you'll see a button that says join and click on the button that says join, and on there you will see a list of our perks. I'm going to take a snapshot of it. You'll see what's called Fan Supporter for $4.99, GovCon Beginner, and GovCon Insider. And what's terrible is that, oh, wow, we got some else from the Virgin Islands. Welcome. What's terrible is that they stopped my screen share. So in the meantime, while I'm playing with this, I did want to come on, 17 people watching. While we're waiting on folks to get in the room, a couple things, as always. First and foremost, drop it in the chat, your name, tell us your industry, and then tell us what city that you're in so we can talk to you specifically. Today, I did want to discuss IT, but not only did I want to discuss IT, I wanted to discuss something more relevant than that. But like I said, I'm having a hard time with my app. So hit the like button. That's right, Yvette. Let them know. At the same time, did anyone has anyone actually looked inside the description to see what we're discussing today? Anyone? Recording. I'm working on something. Give me a second. Right now, I need technical assistance. I guess I'll have to try this another day. So, yes, good. Oh, all right, Chris, cybersecurity out of Dallas. Americans are cleaning, carpet, windows, electric disinfectant, Detroit, Michigan. All right, LaRon, real estate, construction, Houston, New Orleans. Oh, that just reminded me of something. We're gonna be at, while you guys are doing that, 18 people watching, keep dropping that information in the chat. While you're doing that, let me pull some things up for you here. I want to share some stuff with everybody because I think it is super important. So let me just drop this in the chat. This week, this next month, April, we're attending 2 events. I'm dropping it now. Next month, I'll be in Dallas. I'm sorry, we're in February. So in April, I'll be in Dallas and Nashville. Here are the events. I'm dropping them in the chat. Click the links right now. They're free to register. Now, both of these events are geared towards aerospace, but there's going to be a lot of small businesses, a lot of contractors. If you're in the Dallas area or in Nashville, take a look at those events because we're going to be there. I know Maria's going to join me with the one in Nashville, and Miss Randy's going to join me at the one in Dallas. So we'll be in Dallas, Fort Worth, and we'll be in Nashville coming up in April. If anybody wants to hang out with GovCon folks, we'll be out there. And it looks like I may have to change the topic today because my window is not working. So we'll do that. All right, have registrations done, trying to bid for my first country. I also help with 8A certification. How do I go about it? Trucking, Delaware. All right, and we'll get into that. Benny John Elton. We'll definitely talk about that today in terms of registrations. That's actually, in fact, let's just start there. Let's have a conversation with that because I think that is super important for folks. Interesting enough, I had a person reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm going to read this message. I don't know why this stupid thing is not sharing my screen, but I want to reach out, see if I can. How can I make this different? All right, it's not letting me. Okay, so let me. It's interesting because I have a LinkedIn message from someone today. By the way, where are my IT people at? I'm looking for IT people. Are there any IT people in the room today? Let me do this something first, real quick, Benny. I'll be right back to you, Benny. Give me a second. Um, all my IT people, a couple of things I want to discuss today. IT. It says 404 message. Okay, let me work on that. Hold on. You're right. It does say 404 message. Good catch. That's why we gotta have some smart people around us. Hold on. Okay. All right. Hold on. Wait. Okay, that one's working. All right. Check that one right there. That's the Dallas event. Hold on. Give me a second. Did you guys get that one? Is that Dallas one working? That link? Okay. So the Dallas link I just reposted, and here is the one for Nashville I'm reposting. Okay. Thank you for that. So yes, so the Nashville event is April 3rd through the 5th, and the Dallas event is April 26th through the 28th. So I just want to share that with people out there. Now, do we have any software people? A couple things before we jump into today's lesson and bringing folks up to have a conversation. Keep putting in the chat your industry, your city, and also if your name's not there, put your name in there. I actually have a notepad of some things I want to talk about today. I brought notes today. Someone says, where is this at? Hold on. Tell your dad Spanky says, what's up? All right, I'm gonna tell my dad. You talking to me, DER? You want me to tell my dad that Spanky says what's up? I can tell him. I'll call my dad. I'll tell him. He'll laugh. Um, if you are an IT company and you have a software license for any type of software, whether it's Microsoft, Google, any software, we have someone that is looking, that has a GSA schedule, and they are providing licenses to the government. So if you have an active software license, not that you are trying to pursue getting licenses, send us an email. We have someone that has a GSA contract, and the government is asking for licenses. So again, my IT people would know what that means. For everyone else, that's okay. So for example, if you have a license, like the one request he sent me was for Adobe license, but we've also seen things for Microsoft Office, Microsoft Outlook, those type of licenses. So if you have a license, software license active, any type of software license that you believe the government buys, reach out to us. Reach out to service@govconngiants.com and let us know what license you have. We'll do our due diligence, and we'll connect you with the person who has that GSA schedule. Right. So that's the first thing I wanted to bring up. Well, that's the second thing. The first thing was the events that we're going to. The second thing that I want to bring up is, and I am really frustrated that my stupid this browser is not letting me connect. This is very frustrating for me because I have a whole bunch of slides here, windows open that I cannot share with you guys, including what I want to discuss today, and that is frustrating. Hmm. Let me try something else. Ah, okay. Here's a way to share it. Okay, there you go. Okay, so it worked. This worked. All right, so let's go back over here. Let me try something different. So it's letting me share Chrome tab. It's letting me share the tabs, but not the entire Windows. Does anybody know why that is? So it looks like there's an error in StreamYard. Trucking logistics, good stuff. All right, so that's the event in Dallas, MRO Aviation Week. This is the event that we're talking about. That's the one in Dallas. And then let me get you guys the other one. It looks like I'm going to have to share this slowly. This is the event in Nashville 2022 Summit. All right. And by the way, they're both free to attend. So right now until March, I think it's till March, like March the 18th. So, all right, both free to attend. But what I want to talk about today, before we start bringing people up to ask questions, is there anyone ready to come up to the stage? Do I have any brave souls that are ready to come up to the stage right now? Yes, no, maybe. I want to share something else. Give me a second. This thing is acting really funny today. I don't understand. Hmm. Give me a second. Keep dropping in there your name, contact information, so we can make this thing happen. Okay. All right. I guess this is the best way I could share it. So let me do it this way. All right. Sorry about the technical difficulties. This StreamYard app is acting really funny today. So that's fine. How many people are aware or have heard of 8A Stars 3? Anybody out there? 8A Stars 3? Anybody heard of 8A Stars 3? 8A Stars 3. And this goes back to the original question about getting certifications. The 8A Stars 3, best in class vehicle, small business set aside for customized IT solutions from a diverse pool of 8A contractors. It's what the government calls a GWAC. And here we'll get into some of the specifics. The government contract, it's called government acquisition contract. The ceiling is $50 billion, 5 years base plus 1 3-year option, starts July 2nd, 2021. They actually just announced the award winners this past week. And guess what happened? So they actually announced the award winners this past week. And I want to show you something. All right. And because I could only pull up this Facebook page, 8 of our podcast guests, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, technically 9, but 8 of our podcast guests, congratulations, they were awarded a spot on this $50 billion vehicle. I've took the liberty to list out their names and also the links to their podcast and their videos, as well as the name of the person, the name of the company. And so on the first link where it says podcast, that is the link that takes you back to our website. And on our website, you will see their LinkedIn page along with contact information. This was no easy feat. As you can imagine, pre-qualifying for a $50 billion 5-year contract. There were hundreds of companies selected, but still, with out of a pool of 700,000 small business contractors, uh, and out of 122 of our podcast guests, probably 25 of them are in IT space. Um, but we did have 8 winners, and actually Shanega, which is Sonia Mundra, one of her sister companies would be considered the 9th winner. So if you are in the IT space and you have not listened to these 8 episodes, and you are familiar with the Stars 3 IT vehicle, which is one of the largest IT vehicles out there, I would strongly, highly encourage you to pay attention and listen to this stuff, because these persons, these entities, are definitely going to have experienced tremendous growth in their businesses over the next 5 years, and you want to align yourself, associate yourself with them and or other people on this vehicle as close as possible. So that's the second thing that I want to say. Congratulations to all those winners out there, and yeah, so it's great. I was actually in LinkedIn, and I noticed so many of them posting that they were on 8A Stars 3. So I just pulled down a list, start doing my research, and that's also in the show notes on this video. So in the show notes of the video that you're presently watching, that same list is in there. You can just click the down arrow, read in the comment section, click the link, and it'll take you to their page. I've tried to make this as easy as humanly possible for you. It took me about an hour to go in and pull all the links for everyone out there, and for their videos and their podcasts, so you can even choose how you want to view it. We are trying to give people the information in a succinct manner, as easy as possible. Also, speaking on that, for our course, um, Academy 3.0, we're doing something new that we just came up with. Hold on, I've got some bots in here. Let me put these bots in timeout. Dang, I got bots even jumping in on me. Keep asking questions. I will get back to all the questions. Keep dropping in there who you are, what you do. I will be responding to you shortly. So yes, just keep doing that. I'm going to keep talking, but just keep dropping your questions in here. 31 people on here. Make sure I got 31 likes at the bare minimum. Going back to our courses, Academy 3.0, which is the collection of our 22 plus courses all in one place. Something that we are doing now that we didn't have before is we're coming up with office hours. So starting next week, we're going to have office hours for all of you that are members. We're going to have office hours every Tuesday from, I think, 2 to 4 or 3 to 4. Maria's going to send out an email for everyone out there. So if you missed the Tuesday evening calls and you want to chat during the daytime with someone about questions, concerns, comments, we're going to send you an email, and we're going to have an open Zoom session, and we're rotating between all of our staff and including myself. So I'll be sitting in on office hours once a month, and you'll be able to see the schedule when I'm available during those office hours. So that's just something for all the members out there who are part of our programs, like Kazar, Queen Lee, and others. So I just want to let people know, Tam Reed included. What's going on, Tam? The other thing is that we will be incorporating tests into our programs as well. So we're gonna be putting some tests incorporating in it, so that as you're going through the lessons and modules, you can test your skills, and we want you to retain the information and be able to have an understanding thoroughly of what you're doing out here, so that when you're representing companies and you're representing yourself. You sound professional. You are professional. You know what you're talking about. You know the rules, and that will help you be better, stronger, and win more opportunities. So, a couple things I just want to let that know. And so, let me just jump in real quick for questions. I'm going to open up the floor for the first person that wants to step up to the stage. And while we're waiting for that first person to come up, Tam, you taught me this, by the way. Tam, you're the one that taught me how to bring people up here on the stage. So thank you for that. But yes, the floor is open now. Whoever wants to come up to the stage, I'm going to go and answer some questions from earlier that people dropped in here. Acknowledge some folks that just joined us as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome. 38 people watching. Like I said, if you are in IT, oh, Tam Reed, you missed it, Tam. Tam, this is for you. I'm bringing it back up just for Tam because she missed it. All right, Tam. Nine of our podcast guests were awarded the 8A Stars 3 GWAC. These are the podcast guests. Here are their episodes with the links. It's also in the show notes. So for all of you just joining us, I want that are specifically that you're in IT, I encourage you to click on the links, go back and visit the pages, connect with these folks because they're part of the $50 billion GWAC that's going to take place specifically for IT over the next 5 years. And again, tell them you heard them here, you heard them on my podcast, and connect with those folks. So that's the exciting news that happened today. Let's see. LaShawn Williams, how are you, sir? I work with your brother at the VA. He's told me so much about you. I'm excited to catch you live. Hey, LaShawn, tell my brother Emmanuel that I said what's up. Glad that you were able to catch me live, and now I put you live. So you're on my channel, and you can go back and show him this and let him know. And thank you for acknowledging it. So that's great. I love the VA hospital. I actually did several projects at that Miami VA hospital. So welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Who else? Who else we out here? Chris, my man Chris, Cybersecurity Dallas. Chris, I hope that you're paying attention and taking notes on the things that I've shared so far. And I hope if you haven't already listened to those 8 podcast guests that you go back and listen to them. Who else? Who else we have? We have someone else from the Virgin Islands, medical billing. Joy. Okay, thank you, Joy, for rewriting your name. That makes it easier for me. Joy, look, I don't know how to say the last name, but I'll stick with Joy. Hey, Joy, welcome. We have someone else that Candace, that's over in the Virgin Islands, that she's part of our group. So thank you. Maybe she invited you. Shirley Hatwell Academy, Staffing, Oklahoma. Hey, Shirley, staffing is much needed in this space. So who else? I sent the link. If you want to join us on stage, the link is down below. Click it and turn on your camera, turn on your mic, and come up to the stage. Let's have a conversation about why you still don't have any contracts. And so going back to this question, Benny John Elton, I've got registrations done, trying to bid my first contract. I also need help with 8A certification. So everyone already knows my thoughts, my feelings on 8A, but trucking in Delaware. So again, one of the things that I always tell folks is that when you're reaching out to anyone in this space and you're telling them about your business, one of the things that I consistently notice from all small businesses, right? And I'm not going to put this on the screen, but I'm going to read it off. And this is what someone literally sent me on LinkedIn. Hello, I've been watching you on YouTube. I'm currently viewing your last video. I've been ready for a few years to bid, but have not been able to successfully find contracts small enough for my budding business. I also have the shortfall of not knowing how to price appropriately on a bid. Can you assist? I am DBE, DVBE, SDVOSB, MOB, EDWOSB, and WOSB. Now, when you read that, this person says nothing about their business, nothing about what they do. And I suspect that so many of you out there are approaching everyone this way, not just people like myself, but you're approaching everyone this way. And this is the approach that you're taking. And unfortunately, when people read these kind of messages, it's really hard to help you. And a person has to have a lot of patience to be able to read such a message from a small business who's supposed to be professional and really want to take it a step further and kind of like set you straight. You're we have to realize that we are already at a disadvantage. Do you know that there are contractors out there, contracting officers, there are people in government that they don't care for these small business programs, that they feel like they're handouts. And so we don't want to give them any additional ammunition. We don't want to give them any other reason to turn us down, to not call us back, to not talk to us, because we are failing to give the impression of professionalism. And so when you're writing comments, when you're writing to people, um, and you're letting them know this person never told me what they did, what their business was. I'll read it again. I'm watching YouTube. I'm currently viewing your video. I've been ready to bid, but I have not been able to find anything for my budding business. I also have a shortfall of pricing. Can you help? I don't even know what your business is. And so the first thing is, tell me what your business is. Tell me what you do. Tell me a problem that you solve. This is, I think, where a lot of people struggle, is that they can't even convey a value proposition to someone on the other end. So how is it that someone is supposed to help you with your business? I don't know what you do. I can't even tell you who to refer you to. For those you were watching 10 minutes ago, we brought up on the screen IT services, GWAC, 8A, right? I gave you specific place to go. I brought up, I sent in the description, there's show notes on where to go if you're in that arena. I don't know where to send this person. I don't know what to respond. And I think a lot of us out there, the first thing that we do is that, yes, we do chase certification and we don't hone down exactly what it is our business is, or what is that we want to do. And it's okay if you're trying to figure that out. But if you're going out and getting certifications without actually figuring out what your business is, then you've done things backwards. All right, so I just want to say that because, Beanie, what happens is a, a lot of times and it's not, I'm not blaming the small business. I think that there's a lot of misinformation out there. So again, when I ask people to tell me what is it they do, you put trucking, Delaware. So again, you know trucking more so than I know trucking. So I don't know if you do long hauls, short hauls. I don't know if you have box trucks, dump trucks. I don't know if you're a freight forwarder. You get me? I don't have enough information to be able to help give you guidance. All right, what else we have out here? Danny, tell me what is it your business does, please. I need to know. All right, ARM Property Construction Development. Everyone, Adrian Hazel, ARM Property Construction, Detroit, Michigan. Sweet. Welcome, Adrian. By the way, we're waiting for someone to come up to the stage. Nessie from New Jersey, St. Charles Consulting Group. While doing a free course a year ago with the idea to be a middleman. Sounds great, Nessie. I love it. And by the way, if that's your goal to be a middleman, there's no problem. A lot of people, including the 16-year-old that we had on our show, they resell products to the government. Reselling products is a business. So that's a business, but you got to be specific about what it is that you're doing. One of the things I would recommend if you're going to be a middleman, I would recommend to find a niche marketplace and learn the competitors, learn pricing, so that way you can position yourself to be competitive and to consistently win. Mike Concave on our courses, he's done that successfully in aviation. We've had other people that have done that in aerospace, people that sell parts. I know people that we've had a student that's done that with reverse engineering components. So those things are possible. You could do it with arms, you could do it with medical supplies, you could do it with equipment. There's a lot of things that you can middleman, but I do encourage folks, if this is your strategy, to pick a marketplace, pick a niche or niche, however you pronounce it, and learn the ins and outs of that marketplace. There's software out here. specifically if you're reselling products with NSN numbers, there's software out here. BidLink is one of them. Let me drop it in. I'll drop it in the chat for folks. If you're looking to resell products, bidlink.net is one that I would recommend that helps you with the NSN numbers, and it pulls out all the data that you need in order to evaluate NSN numbers. So that's something that I would use if I want to be a middleman and you ran into where you saw that there were products that had NSN numbers. This particular software that I'm dropping in the chat will help you in terms of evaluating the prices and who's the best price, the cheapest price, the companies that are winning, and also the manufacturers that the government uses. So hope that helps you, Nessie, at all. What else? Let me see. What else? Hey, I'm waiting for somebody to come up to the stage. Sterile, sterile, clean, disinfectant. Atlanta, janitorial, virus and germ disinfection. Nice. I've seen you jumping around, adding comments to different videos. So I don't know your name still, sterile, clean, but I have seen you in the chat. Hey everyone, Brianna Barnes, cleaning company, keep it clean, Des Moines, Iowa. Oof, I know Iowa's cold right now. Very nice, Bree. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay. All right, Bowie, we just talked about the Middleman Strategy. All right, what else? All right, let's see, what else, what else? All right, my man says, is there any specific documentation I should be aware of when looking at contracts to bid on? Any red flags or green flags specifically with IT peripheral equipment? Yeah, that's a good question. So I could share with you some of the stories of people who've sold equipment before in the past. Well, one, I just gave you a hint. So, for example, if your equipment has NSN numbers, that software that I just posted on the screen will help you to be able to determine if you already have a competitive price. If that's not the case, when it comes to documentation, one of the things that we tell all of our contractors is when you're looking at the scope of work, the RFP, RFQ, the SOW, PWS, whatever you call it, you have to look at when they're writing in it says the contractor shall or contractor must, those are requirements. So if you were to go through your documents and you just type in search for the word shall and the word must, those are absolutes that you cannot waiver. So that's a quick, easy way to go through and skim through some documents to find out items that you should be aware of, because maybe the document is several hundred pages, and a lot of times we really, we're kind of lazy as contractors, right? Small businesses, or we're pressed for time to say it, and so we don't always do a thorough job of reading. But if you look for the shalls and the words must, that's a great way to skim through a document really fast and to find out the areas that are mandatory, right? There's no flexibility on it. Some other things that I would be aware of is particularly if you're selling any type of products is just making sure that whoever you're getting the pricing from understands that this is for again, if it's federal, it's for a federal agency that you're reselling it to. And the reason why that's important is because sometimes they already have agreements in place for pricing, and they may have a GSA schedule or some sort of prearranged pricing with the government. And I haven't seen this in IT, but I have seen it in medical, where one of our students won a contract. She got the pricing from the vendor. She didn't want to disclose that the actual product was being shipped to the federal government. She just showed the area, this like the city, the state where it was going, and she said it was going to, say, a hospital, but she didn't say it was going to like a federal facility, hospital facility. And so when it came time to actually place the order, this particular manufacturer increased the pricing because they said they already had standardized pricing for the government, and so they could not sell it to her below the standardized government pricing. And so then it made her not competitive. And on one of her SKUs, she ended up losing money. So for everyone out there who's considering what Placebo is doing or anything like that, I would say to be as transparent as possible, even if you fear that you may lose the opportunity, because you'd hate to win the contract and then lose money. That'd be worst case scenario. So those are a couple things that I want to share that I think you should be cognizant of, just because those are some of the experiences that I've seen that people had in the past. So hope that helps. All right, Joe Profit, life insurance agent. Nice. Welcome, Joe. All right. That's right. Office hours starting Tuesdays, 3 to 4 p.m. I don't know who's taking first shift, but when I'm there, I know I hope to see some folks there. Trying to get involved, vet, minority, DIS. I don't know what this is. All right. What else? We're still waiting for some people to come up to the stage. I've managed to talk for 40 minutes without one coming to the stage. Hey, 47 people watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Thank you, Tam. You're doing the best. Join our academy coming up. There's a list of information I need to get from subcontractors to present to the contracting agent. So actually, it depends on the. Oh, I see somebody coming up here. Elijah in the back studio, getting ready to come up to the stage. Thank you. Let me answer this question first, Elijah, and I'll pull you up screen. So for me, it depends on the agency that you're working with, the sub agency that you're working with. Um, some of my contracts do require me to disclose who my subcontractors are. Some of my bids have required me to disclose who my teaming partners are. And so it's on a case by case basis whether or not you have to get information to present to the contractor. I believe that probably at the DoD level, they're going to have those disclosures that are required. But for non DoD agencies, they're probably less strict. And so there is no rule of thumb, so to speak, because every federal agency operates differently. And then even within the sub agencies, the bureaus are differently. And then the location, they may be, the person who's handling the contract might be less strict than someone at another location. But yeah, for me, the only thing that I've ever had to do was provide the actual list of all of my subcontractors and the role that they're playing on that contract. Never had to provide any pricing or anything like that of my subs. Certified payrolls. That's always a mandatory. So I've always had to provide certified payrolls of my subcontractors. I hope that helps. Tam said, I've reached out to Yolanda Clark. Yes, Yolanda is sharp. And she's witty, and I really like her approach. So, Bree, what's in a 3.0 course? Can beginners take it and be ready enough to bid contracts when done? Yes, actually, Bree, it is for beginners. It takes you through A to Z on setting up your business, what to do to be ready. It's actually so the 3.0 is a combination of all of my best courses put together. And so what we do is we take you from registration to actual qualification. We've got sample proposals. We have sample phone scripts, market research, all the things that you need to do to put you in a place to win contracts, including supporting you on Tuesday calls, mentor sessions, bringing in guest speakers, expert speakers, and now we have our office hours so you can ask questions. So yes, it's it's pretty thorough. I mean, it's a lot of content, it's a lot of information. So I would say for folks out there that are listening to this, it is a lot of stuff to go through. I mean, it's not 12 modules. It's a lot of content. And the reason why it is we structure it in a manner that depending upon where you're at, then that's the information that you consume at that time. I don't believe that everyone on here, all 49 of you watching, are at the same place. And so I wanted to create a program that, depending upon where you're at in your journey, then you could pick up and start at that place and then go from there. So if you're at, pre-SAM registration, then you could start there. If you've already done your SAM registration, then you could start at that point. If you have already done SAM registration, you have certifications, and you want to know about how to structure a proposal, we go through that. If you're interested in learning about how to market your business, we discuss those areas. proposal writing, making phone calls, who should you be targeting, and then actually putting together your pricing, right? Because that's people have a problem with pricing. People don't know like how do you look where do you get your pricing from? How do you put together pricing? How do you structure your subcontract agreements? We have sample subcontract agreements. That question they asked for, we got sample consulting agreements. So if you're partnering with a company, we've got a teaming agreement if you want to team with someone. And so again, from getting started to market research to putting together a proposal to searching for opportunities to partnering with companies, all the way up to what do you do after you win the contract? Because so many of us are focused on winning the contract that what do you do after you win the contract? So in terms of the documentations that you actually give your subcontractors to make you compliant, we analyze making sure that you're doing your portion of the scope of work. So, for example, if you are a janitorial company and you've got to do 51% of that work, how do you decide what that is? Well, we know how to decide it, but how do we discuss on our bid sheets because we have bid sheets in there and forms. What does that look like? And so, how do you, when you're negotiating and you're putting a bid package together, how do you estimate, right, your percentage of work versus your subcontractor's percentage of work on that bid sheet? So it is all encompassing, Bree. Great question. Thanks for asking. Dr. Paul, I'm not 8A or an IT, but it's been years since I got a government contract. So, Dr. Paul, you don't need to be 8A or you don't need to be IT. It just so happens that today we were discussing 8A and IT. What happened to Elijah? So, you don't have to be 8A and you don't have to be IT. It just so happens that we are discussing and celebrating it more so than anything else, the success of our winners. And so we wanted to basically say, if you are, or if you have not in this space, and by the way, now that we have 58 people watching, I do want to pop this back up on the screen that we, 9 of our podcast guests are on 8A Stars 3. If you have not already listened to those episodes, definitely do so. They're also in the chat. And then another thing, I said Tammy, Terry. Another thing that I'm looking for folks is if you have any software licenses, that'd be great. I'm interested in companies who have software licenses for Microsoft Office or any of the Microsoft products, Adobe products, any software licenses that the government would need. We're looking to partner with companies because we do have a firm with a GSA schedule that is looking for companies that have software licenses, and we want to respond to some of those RFPs, RFQs. So, hey, look, we're connecting people. We're bringing opportunities to the forefront. We do also, I mean, we've got, you tell me, Paul, what you need, what your question is, and we'll see how we can help you. Chris, I'm listening. I'll go back and watch this interview to find out company's contact information. Great. CT Hydra Contracting, Nicole, Connecticut. Trying my cousin to check this out. I believe she has her master's in computer technology engineering field. Not my language, but I'll try to communicate to her. Good stuff. Kevin Thurman, Upper Marlboro, facilities management. My company is Hub certified. Okay. Chris, they may be looking for that. But Chris, I would not lead with that. So definitely figure out when, I also put a link to GSA 8A Stars 3. And so what I want you to do is go back, look at, because you can technically, here, let me pull this up for you guys. So you can actually go in here. So Chris, you can pull up, the link is also here. You can pull up GSA 8A Stars 3. And there's the award list. That's where I got it from. This is literally off sam.gov, right? But you can find out, this happens to be the award, but you can find out what were the requirements and also what are some of the functional areas that they're looking for help. And I guarantee you that all of these people do not have all of the folks that they need to help them fulfill these opportunities. So this would be a great chance for you, or someone like you, to step up to the plate and help see where you can fit in. So definitely, that's what I would encourage you to do. I see my man Elijah's come back on. He's driving, so let's see if I can. Sir,
Yes, sir.
now how you gonna come on here trying to drive a truck?
Hey, man, I'm working, bro. Well, I'm just getting home. Well, about to be home. So, you know how it goes. It comes with the territory. If you really want
Nah,
it, you gotta work.
nah, you gotta work, man. You gotta
You gotta
work.
get it. Especially
Yeah.
free game. You can't beat free game.
Nah,
But
you can't beat free game, brother. You can't beat free game,
right.
man. You can't beat free
Uh,
game. Talk to me.
so I remember on one of your videos you mentioned that you had some sheetrock guys who were just kind of like barely making it, and you didn't see why you couldn't use them, right? Or why someone couldn't use them, or someone who has a good trade, who has a business, and you could subcontract them to
Right.
do the work,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So since I'm in the janitorial right now, you kind of
Yeah.
critiqued my business a while back, well, like a week or two ago,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that the virus and germ disinfection service is more or less a political thing. And as far as government contracts, because I still get work in the private sector, like restaurants and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But I was just like, okay, so my way to get into government, to the federal contractors, if I have all these people, I have like two general contractors that are like real general contractors, certified. They went to school for it and everything. Electricians that went to school for it and are like legit. So how would I structure my business to be able to just kind of cover a middleman for contractors? I'm more or less trying to get the contract and then, subcontract them out to do the majority of the work. Like, I don't think I can't say I'm a janitorial business.
So, all right, check this out. The beautiful thing about the federal government arena, right, is, and this is, hey, we say free game,
Right, that's right.
free game, all right. You don't need to be a licensed contractor to win general contractor contracts.
Oh, okay.
So you, with your company, whatever the name of your company is, can go after construction contract as a prime and hire your buddies to do all the work, and you don't need a license.
Okay.
Free game.
Wow. Okay. I thought for some reason in my head.
You can't do that at the state, and you can't do that at the local arena.
Wow. Okay.
In the federal arena, they do not require you to have a general contractor license. There's no requirement for it.
Okay.
So we have companies that win contracts that are not licensed. So you don't need a license. It's actually what the government looks for is a strong team. And you already tell me you've got real general contractors. You're going to make them part of your team. You're going to put the contract in your name.
Right.
And because of the federal contract, you pay them after they pass their inspection, after you get paid. So you don't even need all the money.
Okay.
All right.
So let me just understand. How would I structure my business as a logistics business?
No, I would structure my business. I would not structure as a logistics because you're talking about construction. I would give it a name that applies to
enterprise.
Just a generic name.
Okay.
So, I would give my business a generic name. I've got businesses that are like BG Yacht Trunk or 200 Yacht Trunk. Like I have businesses that in other languages they mean like investment or construction. Those kind of things. So I just put Evan Koff. Just a name that doesn't apply to anything because you don't want to limit yourself.
Right. That's okay.
So that's what I would do.
Okay.
Now, I want to see. Now, get out there and get to work.
Oh, you already know. You already know. Appreciate it again,
If
man.
you got contractors, listen. We had a student last night. By the way, Bree, who asked me about the course. Okay, Bree, where you at? We had a student last night that announced he just won a $50 million 5-year contract for architect and engineer.
Wow.
By the way, he's not an architect or engineer.
Wow.
So Elijah, you can piggyback off of your friends' experiences and leverage that to go out and get contracts.
Okay, will do. Right. Thank you, sir.
No problem, brother. Be good. Amit.
Hey, how's it going, Eric?
How are you, sir?
Not too bad, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, I saw you chat with Maria in a group chat. I didn't catch up on your questions.
Oh yeah, sorry about no, I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
And yeah, absolutely, sir. So where you located?
Chicago.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Chicago, Windy City.
Yeah. What about you? Where are you located?
I'm in Florida.
Nice.
I'm in a retirement place now.
Yeah.
I'm retired, I'm with all the retired.
I've been thinking about Florida or Texas to relocate, but
that's right. You know what? That's where everybody's coming, man. Florida and Texas.
Right.
So, but I get it. We get older, man. You don't want that cold weather.
Right.
So talk to me. What were you asked? I didn't see the questions, but you're here now.
I'm a brand new government contractor. I started a single person LLC at the moment called GNSAI LLC. I currently work as a data scientist. I'm a principal data scientist at Abbott Laboratories. I'm about to leave that and go commit full time to government contracting. Okay. But now I subscribe to this government data website called GovWinIQ. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
I know GovWin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I was talking to them about how to get into the government space, and they said, since I don't have any federal contracting experience, probably it would be better to start with the state, local, and education departments first, gain experience there. And so I subscribed to their SLED package. And so I was out of town for a good stretch for the beginning of the year. So I'm just getting started with government contracting really officially. I signed on to your GovCon 3.0 course yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I find that I think it'll be very helpful, and it looks like very informative. Reading up on a lot of books on government contracting at the moment. How to Win Government Contracts, I think, by Joshua Frank. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Yeah. He's a good guy. Yeah.
Okay. So, I was just wondering, do you have any advice on, is it true that federal contracting, you need prior experience to, especially as an AI company, even single person?
Actually, so you do not need prior experience. Now, what they're referring to is the government is risk averse.
Yeah.
Right. Sure. Obviously. But at the same time, when they're now creating avenues for contractors who have innovations that solve problems, they're creating avenues to where you can essentially bypass the traditional procurement process.
Okay.
That makes sense. And so that's one of the things that I pulled up on the screen. I'm going to drop this link here. In fact, let me just pull up real quick because I want to share this so you can see it as well. I want you to see this. Okay. So OTAs, CSOs, and BAAs, these are 3 ways that the government's buying IT services that are non-traditional. And so when you're looking in SAM, you can actually search for OTAs, CSOs, BAAs.
Okay.
If you have, for example, like AI, if the government is looking for an AI solution, they can technically sole source you a contract without you having to bid like a traditional RFP, RFQ format.
Okay, great. So that sounds great, but I mean, I don't have any established products.
Without past experience.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean,
solutions. They're not looking. You get me? They're looking for a solution. They're going to test it. first and
Right.
foremost.
So do you, I mean, like, so what if I don't have a product yet, but I mean, like I can, ideate a product, offering or service.
So
And
they're not looking for products, right? So the
okay,
government
right,
puts out there, they say, okay, we have this challenge, this problem.
sure,
Maybe your solution requires, writing a software code,
sure,
right? And so maybe your solution involves a combination of hardware and software.
uh-huh.
So they're saying, okay, give us a white paper or give us a slide
Okay,
deck that says, hey, this is your solution. This is how we plan to solve the problem, and what it's going to cost, right? And
right,
that's what they're looking for, and that's essentially how you present it to them.
okay,
Now, you said you're an AI data scientist.
yeah,
We have people in our group now that are working on solving, that are currently doing AI projects. So,
okay,
what I would say is to review our IT group, and the persons that are on our podcast, and see if, in fact, any of the contracts they're working on that you can help them with. And so for me,
yeah,
I could think of, I got a guy right now on top of my head that I could send you his information. Look and see how the type of work he's doing.
hmm,
And I guarantee you, if you can help him solve some of his AI needs, he'd give you a subcontract, because
oh,
the
awesome.
government may not give you the prime, but you can start off as a sub, right?
Okay,
Because we all of us, we need other experts, professionals to help us with
right,
some of these contracts. And like I said, I've got a guy right now, which is end-to-end computing is the name of his company. In fact,
okay.
I'll pull it up.
So do you have a link and the contact information? How can you send it through email or like?
But what I can do is I want you to first look them up and see if how you
Sure,
can, if you can help them, right?
sure, yeah,
Because what happens, and not you particularly, but what happens, a lot of small businesses say is they call and say, hey,
yeah,
I do this, right?
right,
What do you have for me? As opposed to saying, hey, I looked at your website. I understand that you guys do this and that. This is my expertise,
yeah,
right? And so then, because for me to make an introduction is no big deal, right?
sure,
Like, but I want people to have done their research first and to say, okay, Eric, I know how I can help this guy.
right,
Does that make
right.
sense? And,
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
you say that to me, and I'm like, okay, here, Maria, any one of our team, there's 5 of us, will be able to say, hey, can you give me this person's contact information? I'm going to drop his company website right now. I'm
Mhm.
going to drop it in here. I'm going to drop it in the group. I want you to take a look at it. And I know for a fact they do software development and they do AI right now. It's got about 50 employees. So I don't know, the revenue is 20, 25 million a year, whatever the case may be. But so
Got it.
take a look at their website. That's something that came off the top of my brain. Take a look at those other opportunities. Also, learn the lingo, right? Learn. You just joined our 3.0, so learn
Right.
the verbiage. I saw something else you put about having 150,000 or something like that.
Yeah, so GSA admin contacted me by phone, like because they saw me on SAM.gov,
Yep.
and they were interested in my services. I told them what I do, but
Yep.
I currently don't have significant revenue. I'm currently acting as a mentor / teacher for postgraduate IT, AI students, postgraduate data science students from UT Austin
Okay.
at the moment. And so that's kind of my meager income right now,
Right.
just to get started, just generating some revenue. I have a Medium blog. I have a YouTube channel that I'm working on right
Okay.
now to develop. And yeah, so those are my channels right now.
And then let me connect. You know who else that I want you? Tam, are you still on here? There's someone here that's on this channel. Her name is Tamika Reed. She's in DevSecOps, but she knows AI, and she can probably point you in a lot of direction. And so if you send us an email, service@govcongiants.com after this call,
Sure.
we'll connect you with Tam Reed, and she could help steer you in the direction, give you some clarity in
Okay.
that space. So you've got and then Enterprise and Tam Reed, and I think from there you can kind of feel your way. And then also the 3 things that I just brought up on the screen as well. So
Yeah. definitely. Thank you.
That's some homework.
Yeah, no, I'm eager to get started.
I strongly discourage you starting at state and local level.
Okay, really? Okay.
I do. I do not believe that state and local is a pathway to federal. They're totally different.
Okay.
By
So misled,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah. No, it's totally different.
No.
Um,
I paid $12K for this subscription. Oh my god, a 3-year subscription. It's such a waste.
there's zero correlations.
Right.
I don't know anyone who successfully went
Mhm.
from state local to federal.
Really?
No.
Wow.
I know people who after they've done federal and they said, okay, we want to expand. They then drop to state afterwards because now they have, because for me, if you're going to do state or local, you want to already have money and capital and a team so that you're not getting you don't want the small business contracts. You want the prime contracts. You don't want to be the small business guy in a state local deal because that's when you have problems with payments and money. Yeah. And so you want to be the prime at the local level, but you have to have a real organization at that point. So for me, to me, the federal government shields us more, protects us from, being taken advantage of more so than state and local. They could care less.
Right.
So I definitely disagree with that strongly. People that I know that do state and local, they're afraid. They're so comfortable in that space. They're afraid to go to federal.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because you get that comfort, right? Your security. So I would rather you learn the federal marketplace, connect with some of these folks, and then you'll see how much easier it is in terms of for scalability, for growth, to assemble a team. Right. You already have people that you're training. Those could be your future companies that you partner with and work with in the future, or you can recruit them as potential.
I'm actually doing that. Right now. So there's one person, one student of mine is now interested in joining as an advisor consultant.
Exactly.
Although he doesn't have real data science experience. He has some IT experience, and he's more in the finance realm. But yeah, I could spin that a little bit, I guess.
You could spin it, and then so again, if you have a list of if you're 5, 6, 7 people that have that type of expertise. 90% of the companies out here don't have that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they're not going to have it. AI is still new, man. AI, robotics, all this stuff is still, even though robotics has been around 20 years, it hasn't taken wide adoption, right? It's
so I do have robotics expertise from my PhD research, and I worked on an NIH-funded project. Could I carry that experience over?
That's experience.
Okay.
That's experience. But again, AI and robotics is different. So if you're gonna, this guy I know does AI, so you definitely want to talk to him about AI as opposed to robotics. But if you see an opportunity in terms of a CSO or OTA, then maybe you could respond to a robotics opportunity with a solution because you know how to solve the problem. Then and keep this in mind: the government's still buying old technologies.
Yeah,
I'll tell you why. Because they're proven.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm well aware that healthcare is like that too.
They're buying old technology. So I've got my best friend's got 14 patents, and he kills me because he's like, well, I don't want to give them this. I said, this is what they wrote the scope 10 years ago. I have another friend of mine that's writing the scope for the F-35 planes from 10 years out. I go, by 10 years from now, we don't know what technology we'll have.
Right.
And you're writing a scope for something for 10 years from now. That doesn't even make sense.
Right.
But look forward to connecting with you. And
absolutely.
I'll see you on some of the Tuesday calls as well.
For sure. Right? Definitely. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Good. I love it. Sharath.
Hey, hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
So,
where are you located?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. Okay.
Right. I'm sitting in the dark, but I have a company that I've been operating on the site for about 10 years now.
Okay.
I claim as a tech company, but I'm truly a staffing company. We
Okay.
do staffing projects in Java and DevOps. It's a
Yep.
little bit of SAP uh, and some Microsoft like .NET technologies, right?
Okay.
SharePoint like that. So
Okay.
3 years back, I went ahead and spent some money. Someone called me and they claimed to be from government. And
I know how it goes. I know. I already know. Uh-huh.
I fell for that, and I thought, let me stabilize getting some government contracts.
Okay.
So they did everything that's required, the paperwork and everything, and then we finally got the contract from them.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily for us, we in that 3 years, I got pretty busy with other staffing, and the private thing picked up really well.
Okay.
Uh, but now I'm thinking, because that involved bringing in a partner, and he grew the company more than I. So I
Right.
thought I'll take up this side of the things, which is government.
Okay.
But it's been 3 months as I've been trying for local contracts to the state, and they respond. But thing is, they never give a contract, right? And
Right.
the discussion. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong with with either proposals or my, because they gave us like three codes, right? Five, something like 134, 111, 134, and so they gave us three codes that we could apply for contracts.
Okay.
Um, I've been applying, but I get no response at all.
So at the state level.
No, I stopped.
State
State
level.
level, I just stopped because I was not going any further.
Okay.
Yeah, state, more than state, I think the guys from Department of Agriculture or something like that, right? They respond pretty well, but thing is, it doesn't end up with a contract.
So now you're bidding staffing contracts and you're submitting your bids and but you're not winning.
Yeah, they're not really staffing. They are more like IT projects that
Okay.
will turn into staffing eventually, right? Because I just need to place someone there and he's going to work. I'm not going to work. So from my point of view, it's a staffing.
Right.
From the government's point of view, it's more like a deliverable,
No, that's fair.
right?
Uh, are these contracts the deliverable? Is part of your pricing require like 3 full-time people or 2 full-time
Right.
employees? That's part of the contract, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then it sounds like, are you losing because of price or losing because of value? Have you ever requested a debriefing?
No, I haven't.
So one of the things that if you're bidding federal projects, and this applies to everyone listening, always request a debriefing.
Okay.
Okay, so again, only at the federal level this works. You can request a debriefing. Let me pull it up. Okay, everyone should be requesting debriefings when you are responding to government bids, and I'll tell you why. Because I'll pull it up on the screen. All right, it's called post-award debriefing of offers. So you want to request a debriefing when you are submitting anyone out there that's submitting a response to a federal contract and you do not win, you have within 3 days after the notice to request a debriefing. When you request a debriefing, then they're going to tell you what things that you did right and what things that you do wrong. And that's how you learn and improve for the next time you submit a response.
Okay. So,
So that way, like when you're talking to me, then you can tell me what exactly went wrong, and then I could give you more of a solution to help you out.
okay. So is this uh, debriefing thing going to be like, okay, I get it now. So my website, I go to the beta.san.gov. Is that the right? I mean, I searched there. right?
No, yeah. If you bid a project from sam.gov,
Hmm.
then that project, yes, you can request a debriefing on that project.
Okay. Otherwise, how do we bid usually if we don't use sam.gov? Is there any other?
No, if you, I mean, this applies to any federal sub agency that you respond. So even if it didn't come from sam.gov, it's if it came from the agency directly, if it came from GSA, if it came from FAA, any federal agency, if you submit a response, you don't win, you can request a debriefing, and they'll tell you whether your technical was off, your pricing was off, if you failed to meet one of the requirements. That's the best way to learn and improve your proposals that you're submitting. This is why I like the federal government, because when you're in the local, state level, they don't tell you what you did wrong. Well, how can you fix it? How can you be better? How do you improve? So,
Yeah.
so for me, that would be my first recommendation is to request a debriefing, because if you tell me that, let's say your pricing is off, then I would recommend um, the GSA page that talks about pricing. If you tell me that maybe your team was not strong enough, then we could have a strategy for partnering you up with someone who may have a stronger team. Maybe, or if it was your technical proposal, then maybe we may want to have you work with someone to improve your response in terms of the technical write-up. So those are the three factors that I think of off the top of my head why you would not win.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
My second question would be: Do you use any? Do you recommend any software to write the proposals, or is there any automation work around this? Like,
Yeah, no, I haven't seen automation work around proposals.
okay.
I've seen it with everything else. I have not seen it with proposals because they are really specific in their requests, even though it seems like the format is redundant. They'll make it nuanced to that particular opportunity. So it does require a human to write it for the most
Okay.
part.
No, I didn't mean anybody writing it, but I meant a way to.
Right. No, I waited to streamline. Well, what we've done is, um, like, so we have people if you're in a certain space, for example, let's say you're cyber,
Mhm.
they're asking the same questions on all the proposals for cyber.
Right, right.
If you're doing software development, they're generally asking all the same questions for software development. So the best thing to do is when you work, I've always worked with larger companies on a team and putting together a proposal, and then when we finish, even if we don't win, I have that proposal to use as my template.
Right. So you could reuse the content, right? Like,
Okay. Yeah,
I was thinking something to reuse the content rather than trying to put it together every time.
that's what. Yeah, that's what I would say. But again, my recommendation I think is the same. Right? Go back. If you look at some of my podcast guests, and you tell them that you heard about them through me and you find a way that you can work with them. Some of them will work with you on putting a proposal together, response to some of these opportunities. And then at that point, you will go through the process and you'll have something that you can use for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Because that's what I've done. I work with the big guys and we go after an opportunity. And then now I have this 300-page template that I can use on all of my stuff moving forward.
Oh, you mean you subcontracted to some bigger company or bigger?
I work with a bigger company on an opportunity that maybe they couldn't go after or they weren't interested in, just so we can work together on terms of the proposal. And now I have those samples documents that I can keep with me forever.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. No problem, man. Looking forward to hearing from you. And I want to hear. Look, I love getting feedback. So come back on 2 months from now and tell me how it went.
Oh yeah. I'm going to join your thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, great. I love to. And then, like I said, I want to hear if. And by the way, before everyone listening, if you join, let me know how I can help you. right? Because if you tell me how I can help you, then I promise you, when I'm out here and I'm talking to people, I'm thinking about you guys and I'm considering, okay, who do I know that I can connect you with that can help facilitate contract actions? For example, I had a meeting. How do you say your first name? Sharath?
Yeah, sure.
Sharath. Okay. So I had a meeting 2 days ago with a large tribal company, the Navajo Nation. They have 4 IT companies, 4. And they sent them to me and they said, Eric, tell me which one of these companies that you want to work with and how can we, so that we can introduce you to them. So for yourself and Amit, you know, we have 4 companies that are already in the federal space that are already doing IT on top of the students and people that we already work with that we can look at how do we serve them and partner with them to go after these specific opportunities. And a lot of times they're managers of the contract, they don't do the actual work. So if we could come in and bring the people, the talent, and execute, they're very happy to handle the administrative side and the paperwork while we actually deliver the work.
Awesome. Yeah, that will be great. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And my one last question, it's not a question, but how do I schedule appointments with you guys if I need to talk to any of you?
yeah, so typically what we do is we have preset hours that we meet with folks. So right now we have Tuesday evenings and then Tuesday in the daytime where we have group sessions. We don't do one-on-one because we can't service everyone one-on-one sessions. So, but when you initially sign up, you do get a free session with me in the beginning when you first sign up. So everyone gets that free session. The other
Okay.
thing that we do that's helpful sometimes for people is I give credit. So if you need credit from a vendor and you need a credit reference, I extend my company's name to all of my students as a credit reference.
Okay.
Do that for free for
So, my issue is I have something to. I've been working on
everyone.
a
Special, unique.
yeah, the human supply chain product.
Okay, well, if you have something like that, then we could talk. I have a CTO that understands it, and so something like that specialty,
Yeah.
then yeah, we could talk about it. If it's something that's
Yeah,
specialty,
I
that's
just need an opinion because you are in the field for so long. So I just need
that.
your
Yeah,
opinion.
that's something different than I thought you want to ask like about the course and things like that mostly. So I'm like, no, we don't. But if it's something about a product that you developed or an invention of some sort, we can set aside some time to talk about it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Doc. All right. Thanks for coming up. Dubb, you're gonna be my last person for the night. You're on mute. Um, hey, look, I love it. We've had 3 great people on so far, so I thank you for all my guests. Dubb's
How's it going?
they're gonna bring it in. He's gonna shut it down for the
Close
night.
it down for you.
Close it down. So I hope
How's it
everyone's
going, man?
enjoying this content. No, man, I'm good.
Good, good, good.
I'm doing
Hey, I
well.
want to just say, man, I appreciate everything that you've done for the community. A lot of this stuff, like you said, is free game, and you don't have to charge, or you don't have to do it,
Right.
but you do it, and I definitely appreciate it. I'm getting some valuable information from you, and I'm definitely appreciative. So.
No, thank you. I appreciate that, and I'm really excited for all of you. And when my student comes on like last night and says he won a $50 million contract, I'm like,
Nice,
all right, we're doing something right.
nice.
I'm happy to hear it, and I know it's working. And the thing is, and again for everyone listening, by the way, 53 people watching. I hope we got 53 at least likes on this. So if not, I can't see the likes. So I'm just saying. But one of the things that I've learned. And I'll say this, preface this before we get started, is that the the P tax. While I love the P tax, they're not the way that our government structures their incentives financially. They got to take people into their offices and they got to sign them in to get credit to receive funding, and so they can never create a public format to train and facilitate these types of interactions because they're not incentivized to do so. And so, I kind of, the way I feel, like I just feel a void, a need that had to happen because sometimes the government says they don't have money to market, and which I don't understand. And sometimes I feel like some of our agencies or sub agencies or people that are receiving the financial incentives, they're kind of at each other's throat, and so like no one wants to kind of like give their information right publicly because they're like, well, then they're going to get the dollars as opposed to this person's going to get the dollars. So it's sad, but it's no different than we said the FBI is not talking to the CIA. It's kind of the same thing. I think in the world. So look, none of them pay me, none of them own me, so I can come up here and talk trash all I want to.
Pretty much.
Not to be so. Where you at? Where you calling from?
All right, so I'm calling from Dallas, Texas area.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll be there April 26th.
26th of
April.
April. Okay.
Yeah, I posted that in the beginning of the call. There's a aerospace conference in Dallas that we're going to, the 26th through the 28th. So
okay,
I'll be there. 26th through the 28th.
Find a way to link up with you then.
Yeah, no. Everybody out in Dallas, come out and check us out. We'll do something, and all of my folks out there will get together.
Okay. So I posted a question in the chat earlier talking about being a consultant and pricing. And so basically I'm working on a proposal right now that I'm actually late for because my supplier sent it to me late. But you know how that goes. Yeah. But I'm working on the pricing. I just want to get some feedback on it and just kind of see, if I'm in the right ballpark of what I need to be pricing. I got my supplier quote and I'm just looking to add my profit margin on there. And I remember in some other videos in the past of yours that you mentioned maybe up to like 25% or something like that. So I want to make sure that I'm within that range.
Yeah. So now it's a product, right? It's a product.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They're basically receiving some products shipped out to them. So.
Okay. Now, do you have any, hold on. Okay. I just want to make sure guys clear. Do you have any data on that product itself in terms of previous contracts or anything like that? No.
No. Yeah. It's more of a service contract, if you will. Okay. But they're ordering materials that are high item or I don't know, what do you want to call it, high value, I guess. But either way, it has to be shipped from another source from outside of the state.
Okay. Okay.
And
so,
yeah.
All right. Let me ask you a different question, different way. Is this something that's considered commercially off the shelf stuff, or is it specialty?
Specialty, definitely specialty.
Okay. So specialty, then it's going to require a higher markup.
Right.
So it's a specialty item. It definitely requires a higher markup than something that's commercial off the shelf. That's standard. Okay. Do you have a separate price for the product and the service?
I do.
Okay. Now, are you providing the service, or is a subcontractor providing the service?
The supplier is supplying the service.
Okay, so for example, let's say it's an air conditioning unit. You're selling the AC unit and installing it, something to that effect, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So then the supplier is providing the service, and then is the government asking you to separate the product and the service?
What they're asking me to do on the CLIN is price everything according to what it would actually cost, including labor and,
Okay, so they're asking for one price, a unit price.
Yeah, per line item. So
okay, so one line item asks for what? Everything. Another line item asks for separate.
Yeah, they want to specifically. They want a breakdown of each line item.
Yep.
As far as what the unit's going to cost, yep, and what's the total going to be for that year.
Okay.
And it has to be specified accordingly and that's pretty much how I built it based off of what my supplier provided me. So.
All right. So what we typically do is in our bid sheets, we always put in. Let me see if I can find a bid sheet here.
So I got a glare in my glasses here.
No, that's all right.
My reading glasses.
Let me see if I can find us a estimate sheet real quick. Then I can show you a real example. Do a real life example. If I can find it. Sometimes. Yeah, Lalani. You see our boy Tomas is on that 88 Stars 3. Hold on. Trying to find a simple one. I got some complicated ones up. I don't want to show you those. Hold on. All right. I can't find it this moment. But what? Hold on. Looks like everybody's hanging in there, so I'm gonna find this thing. All right. This is a complicated one. But,
Sorry,
hey,
man. I
hey, look,
didn't mean to make the last one the long
hey,
one.
look, it's a complicated one, but hey, it is what it is.
I had another proposal that I was working on yesterday with the another supplier, and I saw his numbers, and I was like, man, I said, if we submit this in, we're not going to get the contract. I told him we need to work on these numbers, and he was like, what was wrong with it? And I was like, it's way too low. So we had to, not fudge it, but we had to basically break it down and just kind of figure out where he needs to add, more time and effort into it. So.
Yeah, it's
I guess that's a good thing. You always add more.
yeah, you could. It's not letting me pull the sheet up. All right, I'll just talk through it. So on our bid forms, we always include our overhead expenses in terms of one of the things that small businesses do is they look at, like you said, there's the subcontractor, and they look at the actual, so your product, and you're looking at the actual delivery. But one of the things that we don't take into account is the amount of time it takes us to actually manage the contract and the project. And that's something that I teach all of my people. So we actually have on my bid sheet, which I don't know why it's not letting me pull it up. I have all of my cleanse listed here. But above my cleanse, I have project managers, I have administrative assistant, which is my direct labor. I've got my home office overhead labor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have my equipment, and then I have travel, materials, and then any cleanse from subcontractors. So for me, one of the things that I taught all of my people when they're first starting out is all of the big companies, they don't miss out on like charging the government for managing the project and the contract. Right. And so, for example, in your case, you have one subcontractor, but if you had multiple subcontractors, you get to charge a fee for managing each subcontractor. But as a small business, we don't take that into consideration. We just figure out a flat fee charge. So, for example, how long is it going to take to do the contract?
So the contract is 1 + 4.
1 + 4. Okay. So it's an annual contract.
Yeah.
All right. So the annual contract, what else do you need besides the subcontractor bringing the product and the actual installation of it? What else do you need?
That's pretty much it. The main part is the logistics part of it, which is shipping it because it's a high specialty item.
Okay, but is the place where you're buying it from handling that?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing everything, soup to nuts.
Right, pretty much. Well, they're handling the shipment and the delivery, but they're not doing the installation. They have technicians on hand to do the installation. So
okay, so they're handling the shipment and delivery, and then you have to hire. They have technicians that are doing installation that are separate, but it's the same company.
well, no, I'm saying the government has technicians on site too.
Oh, okay. So you are responsible for delivering it and shipping it, and the government's going to install it.
Right.
Ah.
But like I said, the item is a really specialty item. It's I tell you, but it's
No, it's okay. No, it's all right. No, we're public, so don't worry about it. So all right. So you're just handling the shipment and delivery, and the technicians are installing it. What does it say if the government needs help installing it?
Well, that part I clarified. So I emailed the contracting officer just to make sure that we weren't going to be doing any installation labor, and she verified with me that that's not what we're obligated to do.
Okay.
If in the event that we would, I'm sure that can be worked out in a separate CLIN or something of that nature.
All right. So then, really, you said it's a 1 year. So are you going to be delivering this multiple times throughout the year? This item?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So every month, every 3 months, every something like
every
that.
month.
Every month. Okay. So once a month.
Right.
But really, I still don't see where there's much risk on your part. What's the risk?
Again, the risk is the delivery because the item is coming from another state. And it
can be damaged in transit.
It's a specialty item that can be very hazardous, if you will.
Hazardous.
Yeah.
Oh well, then if it's hazardous, then what? Okay, that's a good point. So if it's hazardous, then I would make sure. So I know the company has their own insurances. I would probably put additional assurances on it.
Okay.
Right, and I would put that in my bid.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because it's hazardous. Because again, the worst thing that can happen is since you're responsible for this, I would quote out a policy to cover that. And again, one of the things in my field, we always had, even though I had liability policies, my subcontractors also have their own policies. And that's common, right? So then that way, their underwriters would then indemnify you if anything were to happen. So because you technically, as the prime, are going to be ultimately responsible.
Right.
So I would cover that, and then on a monthly, if you're, there's probably very minimal management. So really, I don't see a lot.
It's the risk part that
the risk
is making me think.
Yeah. Cheap, brother. Yeah, no. So what do you think about putting on it?
I want to stay in the range where, like I said, I want to be profitable. I don't want to, because I'm assuming a lot of risk involved with this. And like you said, I want to make sure that I'm being compensated for that risk. I mean, the supplier is pretty much going to show up and do their job, and that's it for the most part. But if anything goes wrong in the event of getting from point A to point B, then ultimately I think I'll be held responsible for that. So that's why I make sure that I'm covering myself with,
I would give me a price. I'd go out and find what it would cost to put a policy on that.
Okay.
And I put that in my price.
Okay.
I would put that cost in my price. to make sure. And then I'd also have the supplier indemnify me through their policy. I'd figure out what that costs. I'd add that in my price, and then I'd put my markup.
Okay.
And then that way you can sleep at night.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, the thing is, I got to do all this. I'm actually on the bubble right now. I got to get this in tonight. So.
Well, I mean, like once you do all that, then you can sleep. So then you can, like, after that stuff, if you want to put 20% on, 25%, they understand. The government understands that because it's high risk, and so, my concern also would be that, could the cost of that item increase, later on this year because of supply chain issues?
Yeah.
And so, you've got to think about that as well.
Okay.
So I would talk to them about it, and I know it's due now, but I would definitely be concerned because we all have to. Maria just submitted a bid, and we marked it up 25% because the item from last year to this year has gone up 75% cost within 1 year.
Right.
And this is roofing, so your item could potentially go up, and the government may not cover that. And even if it goes up 10%, at least you'll have some room in there to be covered.
Okay. Okay.
And then again, if you put the insurance in there, and ultimately you don't need it after the first couple of times, then maybe you could save on the insurance later on. But I'm a big proponent of phantom insurance. It saved my ASS so many times.
Yeah,
So
I definitely don't want to be.
I hate lawyers, but I love insurers.
I got you.
All
All right, man.
All right,
I
brother.
appreciate it.
Hey, good luck, brother. I
Okay.
look forward to hearing more about how it turned out.
All right.
All right.
Hey, I want to see you in Dallas too, man.
I'll be there. I'm
right.
gonna post it everywhere, so you'll get the invite. You'll see it. Maria probably created an Eventbrite, and we'll probably do like a formal dinner or meetup with everybody while we're in Dallas.
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
right. Sounds good. See
Okay.
you.
Yep.
All right. That was fun. Good night tonight. I didn't expect to go this long, but looks like we had a lot of questions, a lot of people, and so this was exciting. A lot of good content. Looking forward to connecting with everybody next Tuesday in our members only session. Also, let me show something for folks because I did finally figure out how to get this thing lined up. So let me just share something real quick because people are asking, how do you join on our YouTube channel, the page? So let me show you how to do that real quick before I let you go. For those persons, right here on our YouTube page, you see that button says join. So if you click this join, it'll pop up and it'll say here, right? This is how you join right there on the page. So if you click join on our channel, you'll see $4.99, $9.99, $24.99, and those will give you access to members only content. It tells you about the perks. So for example, GoCon Beginner, you'll get access to YouTube unlisted content, 33 videos, 28 hours of members only content. And then plus you'll get these other perks as well. And then GovCon Insider, we have on there our course lessons from some of our courses as well. That's inside of the YouTube channel. So this is where it's at. I know everybody's trying to find it. I'm going to drop, this is literally, it's right here on the channel page. So we'll probably take a snippet and make it. Yeah, I know. I couldn't figure out how to, pull it up. So that's where we're at, right there on that page. I'm dropping a link in there for those who want to join. And again, like I said, for as little as $5 a month, you can get access to a whole lot more content in terms of, and we do have content on pricing, certifications, and maximizing your actual small business destination. So, hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Had a great session. It was a lot of fun. I was tired. I'm still tired, but I'm happy I came on. And for those of you who did sign up for Academy 3.0, look forward to our guest speaker coming up next Tuesday as well. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Good night.